If you're anything like me as a photographer, most often you're trying to avoid putting the sun in your frame. Now, you may be going out on an overcast day so that you can have enriched colors in your photography, or if you're going out early in the morning or late in the afternoon for those long shadows. Most often we tend to leave the sun outside of the frame, whether we hide it behind a tree or a building, or we just leave it out of the frame entirely. It's a compositional choice. But you know, sometimes you can have a really highly impactful image by including the sun in the frame. But there are a couple of really important things you have to remember when you do that. This is Visual Art Photography Tutorials, and today on Neighborhood Photographer, we're going to be talking about shooting into the sun, including the sun in your photos. But by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, why not do so? And you'll get updates on all newly uploaded videos. Now, let's go off into the outside and take a look at shooting into the sun. So right now we're under a willow tree actually, and there's a gazebo over there. But you have to be careful now because we're going to shoot, but we're shooting into the sun. And as I lift this up, you're going to see the sun right there. And you have to be careful, not so much when you're doing movie making like I am now. You know, you're looking at the LCD, there's no problem. But if you're looking in the viewfinder, you have to be really, really careful. Don't look at the sun. Don't ever look at the sun. F16 or F22 will get you that starburst effect. Can be kind of nice in your photography. Here's another example of it in the fall forest shot, F16 and the starburst effect. Or how about getting up early in the morning or being around late in the evening, and if you have a bit of a haze on the horizon, I'm sure you've seen the effect, the sun turns into a big ball. Or over here, let the sun play with the clouds. It peeks out, and you have this kind of an effect after the clearing of a winter storm. Sun behind the clouds here in Prince Edward Island, kind of diffused. Or maybe you exclude the sun completely and just let it poke through the clouds, and you get these beautiful rays, which can add a very nice effect to your photography. Let the atmosphere come into play as well with some fog on this Newfoundland morning. Get a nice diffused effect. Or here up in the right-hand corner there, it looks like the moon almost, but it's the sun as a small disk behind clouds. A little more harsh, and it brings up the what do you do with your exposure, because you're shooting right into the sun, and it's going to want your meter to underexpose. So you may want to open 2 or 3 stops to compensate for that, or you may want to let it go dark, as I've done here, so that you have deep black shadows, and the trees go to silhouette. Just depends on your creative bent. It's all up to you. It's artistic license. So this one is underexposed, what might be considered underexposed, but that's the effect that I wanted for this black and white image. Again, winter shot, and you get the deep shadows. It's about -1 underexposure. Or fill the frame with a picture of a sun halo. But of course, as always, be careful and never look directly into the sun. Use your LCD. If you don't have an LCD, take a look out of the corner of your eye. But don't look directly at the sun. It will damage your vision. Nice being with you again. Until next time, I'm Ray Scott, reminding you that it's not what you see, it's how you see it. And I'll see you soon.